Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Pronago bringing you some Cosmonarchy casting, and we've got a ZVZ for your enjoyment. Kenoli, our pumpkin Zerg, in the bottom right of Quasar Quartet, is facing off against jakulangski, our brown Zerg, in the top right. Sharing the right side of the map, and I am excited about that. Kenoli is going for an Ovaleth. What the heck? Oh, he's Kagrin dropping. Well, I read in the chat, like after they played a whole bunch of games together, that Jack said, "Thank you for showing me the ZVZ meta," and Kenoli said, "This build will be studied for the ages," or something like that. So, of course, I downloaded the replay, but that was like days ago. So, who knows what it looks like right now, but the Trolleth is scouting the wrong direction. The Ovaleth is heading in the right one. This could be a real big issue for jakulangski already. So I don't even have that much time to say thanks for tuning into Cosmonarchy. You can subscribe to the channel for daily video uploads of Cosmonarchy 1v1s and other matches. And you can tell me what kind of matches you're really looking forward to seeing, be it matchups or team configurations. And if you want to donate, streamlabs.com/pronago, coffee.com/Cosmonarchy. All right, we have that Kagrin coming, and it's an instantaneous Circuit. A pair of Rillarokors coming. This is going to force this Kagrin almost assuredly to be a Circuit. And Jack is not actually paying attention to it. No. Oops. Why did he cancel it? What? Hey everybody, welcome back to another Cosmonarchy cast. Pronago bringing you some jakulangski versus Kenoli. Alright, he's actually going to lose the Circuit, I think. I don't think it's going to... Oh, it'll finish in time if he lets it, but yeah, it would have been pretty close, and then I don't think it would have survived afterwards, so... Definitely a tough spot. He wanted to see... I think if he puts it behind the minerals, he's fine, though. If he unloads it right here... Whew, choice. Force a cancel on that hatchy. But not going to happen. Zeth moving around. The Ovaleth returning home, a.k.a. not really. 3 pairs of quads going to come out, and the Drolleths will be able to deal with this Zeth easily enough. I don't think he's going to get a single worker kill with it. That would be quite the surprise. Oh, tried to burrow. I don't know why you would do that. Standing on burrowed units reveals them in Cosmonarchy, so... They don't, like, unburrow when you attack them, unlike in Starcraft 1. That was always, like, a weird autopilot move, in my opinion. But, yeah. Definitely a cute little attempt there from Jack to get some damage. After all of that absolute absurdity, I guess the Kagrin can just kind of hang out for a little bit. Oh, you know what? If Kenoli does put it all the way right here, he could make a Larvask, but he has no gas, so I don't think he's going to do that. He will be going for a hatch in his natural, and is he going to double expand? Oh, it's just going to be a hatch by the ramp, it looks like, or this little cliff here in general. The Ovaleth instead going to be seeing about trying to pressure in the back line. I mean, it's psychological warfare for sure. I mean, it even psychologically warfared me. And so we're going to have to see. I mean, hey, Jack hasn't paid attention to the mini-map. This is what you're hoping happens. And Jack now sees things are occurring above him. I don't know. I honestly, that looks to me like that's going to finish nice and easy. And up against Circuit. Of course, you want to try to maybe pick the Ovaleth here, but the Kagrin will actually be killed. So... He didn't kill any workers. In fact, he didn't kill any units at all. No, can't. Sorry. Maybe he could have, like, sent the guy into the Ovaleth, though. That would have been something. Then he could have taken this 12 o'clock base as his third. Zet's come in to see the double hatch. What a bizarre build order. Okay, well, that sure is different. That sure is interesting. Now what do we do? Jack going for some workers himself has definitely taken the worker lead. He's got a huge larva advantage, making 5 larvae per 14 seconds. And of course, Kenoli only on 3, getting his 4th from that Larvask in the main base. So this looks like a Jack advantage. You will notice, however, based on the overlay, in case you guys aren't familiar, left is favorite, right is underdog in 1v1s. And, you know, in team games and FFAs, I do try to sort by the best player on each squad or whatever, but I don't always. Sometimes it's like more aesthetically pleasing to do it a different way. But typically in a 1v1, you're going to see the favorite on the left, the underdog on the right. And Jack was definitely the favorite in most of their head-to-heads historically, as they've both been playing Cosmonarchy for some years now. But Kenoli, he's been more active lately. And in ZVZ, he's a menace. Going to go ahead and clear that 1 Quas, the Ovaleth, potentially a threat to drop 6 Quas into the main base. In fact, jakulangski already realizing that situation, pinches a few of his Quas off to that side, and then garrisons the rest inside the natural. Worker lead is narrowing, and I think Kenoli's actually going to take a slight advantage himself here pretty soon, as he adds more static defense to his natural and is planning on his 5th larva source. Now his quads are going to be poking in to see if they can cancel the K-Grunt. They do, and then they see if they can't escape. Obviously, there's way more units here for Jack, and his Shroud is already complete, so he's kind of moved past the larva and droll stage of the map, and he's decided he wants to make units instead of workers. Making combat units is definitely a good way to do it. I don't know why it's so reflexive to say make units instead of workers. Workers are units, definitionally. Even structures are units, definitionally. So, IDK, LOL, FBI. But you can ask me about that one in the court of law. Sue me, dude. 12 Droleth. By the way, Kenoli definitely being a little bit on the greedier side. He's got no combat units coming. He only has worker units. And, well, Jack is planning an attack. The Lakers are spotted by the Ovaleth, though. So even though Jack attack is incoming, the hatch to narrow, hold on, the aperture closing potentially, and an Olgorg starting behind this for Jack. He is going to try to, you know, pinch down this morphing hatch. I feel like if Kenoli had done that sooner, it would have been a different story. Oh dear. 10 pairs of Zeths are starting. I mean, what do you even have for tech here? 1 pair of Rill? Not really that useful. The Ovaleth here for detection on both sides, so I don't know. This doesn't look like it's going to be too effective here for Kenoli. How is he possibly going to defend himself? Is this really the end of this deranged game? The Zeths come in. Well, he actually right-clicks one of the Lakers, so maybe that was worth it. Pool units are obviously pretty cheap. Losing one of his larva producers does feel bad for Kenoli. Vornath Pond on the way, a lot more on the Quas side. He might be, with this bank, going for Vornath into Calc here, but, I mean, what do you even do? Obviously, the drop coming in is 6 Zeths, but this is well in the vision of Kenoli, so he parries that almost immediately. And Jack is giving Kenoli some respect by not just charging in here. Honestly, with this many Quas, I kind of understand it. If he had a lot of Zeths, I would say something different. Oh, he abandons the Lakers, though. Kenoli has that killer instinct for those Lakers, and Jack obviously falling apart a little bit at the seams by not, you know, guarding those very important units. Zeth drop still not yet factually occurring, but it is being considered. And there's that Calcure Lake, like we said. 2,000 minerals is the Kenoli special. No third base for either player. Ovaleth looking to unload some of its Zeths. There's more Quas where that came from, though. This really isn't a huge issue. Picks 1 Quas out. Efficiency, dude. 25 minerals right there. More Lakers have arrived. They're going to burrow at the Kazi. So it looks like Jack is expecting a cleanup here. Oh, he's going for the fast Zozark. So this is going to be a Zarkavrakor push. I'm not sure why the Quas fell away like that, but that's a pretty cute move anyway. Maybe they were busy doing DPS to the Ovaleth, so might have just been a quick stutter step like that. So Jack has no gas for Zark, though. That's kind of the problem right now. He does have his Escagant for the Ridge Cap. I don't think typically the even Zerg players, I don't actually think they say Escagant. I think they really just say Cap your Ridge, dude. Nobody ever has said Escagant besides me, probably. I hope that like Alex will cast a Zerg versus Zerg match with an Escagant, and he'll be like, Zerg Escigant. No, he wouldn't say it like that. But, you know, Zeth rock and roll, dude. Shout out to Alex. 37 lira. Good grief, dude. There goes all of his money. Saving money is a strat for Zerg. Third base on the way for jakulangski. I think Zarkavrakors are a little bit too tanky, a little bit too durable, if they're in any number at all, for the Lyra to be the source of their demise. Oh my god, he unburrowed at the perfect time to counter the Lakers drop. But that's only a small fraction of the Lyra that he has. This one Quas certainly showing what's going on. So, the air attack could either counter or it could try to fight directly. I wouldn't mind a counter. Oh, there's the Lakers. It's going for the instant burrow tech that Jack found out, or somebody found out a while ago. Might have been Hamster, who knows. Lyra's coming out in a big way. Well, that third base is definitely going to get canceled, and the workers end up falling away from the natural temporary shutdown as the Lakers gets cleared. The Zarks have still continued to be safeguarded for now, but they will be committing to the defense as Kenoli, he's just going to run Jack over if you're not careful about this, buddy. The Kazi should be the first target here. It's actually going to be left alive for some time. Here come those Zarks. Oh my god! They're actually being blown open by the Lyra. That's wild. Now, they are obviously stacked up, so the splash damage is doing a number on them. But still, I think the turnaround there is going to be pretty good. Finally, all of the Zarks getting regressed into Gorgs. So many kills for those splash monsters. And there's a lot more units where that came from, including 2 Ultras. So, with that Kazi still alive, I feel like Kenoli can't make the attack final. He does have Quas and Zets coming out. He never reset the saturation in his natural base, and he's only mining off of 1 ridge. Oh my god. Well, he's still got plenty of money banked up, so I guess no worries there. 2 Zarks in production as Jack is desperate to hold. He has a much superior economy and way more than he even knows, because he obviously didn't think that Kenoli would just idle so many workers for so long. And I was like, I'm not floating 3,000 minerals. Something is wrong. Let me go ahead and fix my economy. What a deranged ZVZ, but I mean, I hope this is exactly what you guys hoped for. I hope that I hope you all got clickbaited onto this video from the thumbnail, because I got clickbaited by that thumbnail, and I got clickbaited by that action, and it didn't, you know, it wasn't even a thumbnail for me. Now the Ultras are getting hit by the Vorvacor, which is definitely going to help them out, but it does feel like the Zarks are doing an efficient job of clearing the way on the left-hand side. 1 Gorg left remaining, but the Ultra Core shortly is going to be almost unstoppable. We've got a Lyra run by, just sort of going crazy off to the right-hand side, just seeing what it can do. 1 Ultra Core will finally go down as the Lyras run all the way into the main base. More Gorgs hatching from the larva. Kenoli, of course, has a humongo float. No surprises there. Obviously, the Gorgs are a lot weaker than the Zarks in terms of their anti-Lyra maneuver. God damn, those Ultra Cores, though. It's pretty terrifying to mulch through a horde of Zets and only for the Ultra Cores to be sped up as a result of that. Is ZVZ just the best matchup in Cosmonarchy? Is that what we're seeing here? I mean, it's definitely the most slapstick in some ways, but Kenoli getting the better of Siki earlier on in the cast. You guys missed that one on Magnetron. It's certainly an interesting game of all time. That Kazi stays alive again. I feel like Kenoli is losing out on a lot of value because Kazi Ultra Core is really powerful. They're attacking for double damage effectively when there's this many units around, and that means they're life-stealing equivalently as well. So really spooky to have to go up against that. Vornath Pond for Jack as he goes for extra Gorgs that are, I'm sure, indubitably planning on being inimitable Zarkavra soon. That third base being retaken by our brown Zerg. Kenoli, on the other hand, happy to stick it out on 2. Make a lot of Lyra, a lot of Vorv, and see if he can't just move on this position. I don't know. Zarks are really going at it. And you kind of need to pick. Are you going to put DPS down on the Ultra Cores, or are you going to clear out this splash damage? And I think wisely, the decision has been made to clear out the splash. The Vorvs are going to reduce the attack speed and the armor of the Ultra Cores, make them easy prey for the Lyra. Excellent synergy there out of the pool. I want to say monocomp, but obviously there's like 4 different unit types here, so can I really say that? But yeah, Kenoli doesn't even need to worry about a cancellation onto that hatch. Jack losing out on a lot of money. Hasn't scaled up his larva production at any point here, and has to cancel out his Ultra Cores for a desperate defense. That Khaz'trith has continued to empower these units for extra damage, but is it going to be enough as the Vorvs are loose in the mineral line, and that means only 1 Zarkavra is actually trying to deal with all the anti-air. They'll be reinforced in death and regression as that Gorg ends up spinning around for a moment, a little pirouette before the fall. Is this actually going to be where Jack is eliminated? Because I don't really see how he's going to safeguard himself. The Vorv is loose in the base. The Kazi ignored for all time. The hatch being right-clicked. Oh, Kenoli. You do the darndest things. The hatch goes down. It's not like a Nexus, so the Kazi's not like unpowered, but GG is still going to be called as Jack concedes. Wow, what a match. Man, well, I appreciate everybody sending in the big donos for that game. I'm sure a lot of people took one look at this match and said, I gotta spend money on this game. Holy moly, it delivers. We'll have a PVZ coming tomorrow, and then after that, I'll be looking at your comments to decide what to cast next. So make sure to sound off in the section below and on that next video as well. GG.